So what I'm going to do first is, there's a couple of screws. There's one right here. There's one right here. There's another screw right back here where you move the wires, and then there's another screw right back in here. This will take the heat sink off this container so we can get it kind of out of the way a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and undo these screws, and they're little, small, little screws. And they're not very tight. They're just to hold everything in there. Get my hands out of the way here so you can kind of see. I should have a magnet, but there we go. So you got these 4 screws. Magnets, not screwdriver's not very magnetized. So as you saw, the board is now loose. So as you can see, the heatsink is attached to the board with the 4 screws, and then the heatsinks are attached to the main board here with 8 screws, 2, 4, 6, 8. And they have standoffs here to let air flow in here to cool the board off. So what I'm going to do next is I'm hoping you can see this. I'm trying to see, but as you can see, my my connections are already labeled on here, and I think they may do that from the factory. I don't know. This is the first time I've done this, so I've seen a couple of YouTube videos on people doing this. So I'm going to make my own little video and do it myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these wires off, and it might be a little bit more a little harder to take off. I might need a pair of pliers. So I'll probably go get me some pliers, a little needle nose, just so I can grab this and pull this off this board, because I have a lot of wires to do. I'm going to undo all these wires, and once I get those taken off, we should be able to get the board loose. And then, because these wires are just kind of in my way, and this cabinet's all in my way, so I'm just going to go ahead and give me a pair of pliers, needle nose, and pull all these connections off. This, and then these, the grounds here. You got 2 grounds. Here's your fuses over here. I'm just going to take these off so that way I'll have the board, and I'll move this out of my way. So I'll be right back. What I'm going to do is try to zoom in just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm going to be doing here. Like I said, I'm going to be taking all these loose so I can get this board out of my way, or get that plastic housing out of the way. So I got my own little pliers just to kind of grab and pull, kind of wiggle a little bit. So there they are, and this one is labeled. This is number 8 on port 8. So, and what I'll probably do is fast forward through a lot of this, because it's just basically unplugging all the wires. And don't be too scared of doing this. It's not really a major deal. You're scared about all these. Just make sure when you pull one off, if it's not labeled, put your number on there. Because all your power wires here are all the same, going to be connected to this side here. All your neutrals, they're really easy. Your blacks go to your connections, all your neutrals go here, and then you have your main power, which is labeled on the board. Bottom left, bottom right for your main power, your neutral, and then your power wire back here near the fuse. So I'm just going to take these off. They're kind of hard to get off. A little tricky. Try not to damage it. That's why I'm grabbing the metal on the plug here, not pulling up on the wire. Grab the metal, not the wire. So now we got both sides taken care of. Now we got to pull all these neutrals out. And just The neutrals, it doesn't matter where the neutrals go because this whole section is connected together on the main board. So these neutrals are all the same. So they're all connected to the same circuit. Some of them are really, really tight to get. Screwdriver taking me a lot of racket. So I'm just going to go back and forth and they will come up. They're little, some of them are a little feisty, they don't want to let go. So you just kind of grab the metal and pull up. Wiggle back and forth. There we go. I know some people are probably saying, "Oh, wow, you're too rough on that." These are connected really well. So I'm not hurting the wire or the connection here. That's how you're supposed to pull them off. You grab the metal on the connector right there. See where I had it grabbed? Right there. So that way you're pulling the metal. All this is one piece. You're pulling that up. Wiggle them. That one's been a little pain there. Now, these are hard to get off. So here I got all my neutrals, and as well, you probably can't see, but anyway, all these neutrals are connected together. And here's your neutrals from your power coming in, and these are your neutrals going out to your controllers, or out to your lights, to the plugs for each circuit, or each port, as Light O Rama calls them, every port. So, as you can see, you got these out of the way. These are all your lights going, all your connections going out. So as you can see, there's not much to this board. You have your plug-in connections, you have your fuse for each bank, and then you have your power wire going here, which is sending power along these ICs to these. And then when the controller in here tells it to turn on port 8, it sends a signal to this gate on this IC. The gate says, okay, open, sends power to 8. 8 goes down the wire out to your lights, and that's how they come on. So I'm going to do these incoming power. And this board has been off for a couple weeks. I was trying to do some testing a couple weeks ago, so it's been without power for weeks now. There's no serious thing, and I'm grounded here. There's nothing, there's no carpet, no static. So, just so you know. So just remember, all your neutrals go here. Your main power for one side goes here, and the other main power goes right here at the fuse. And it goes through this fuse and out. Now, there we go. So this is what we're going to work on. Get this out of the way. Don't break anything. Now, let me check and make sure that you all can see this. I'm trying to get it, let me zoom in just a little bit more so you can kind of see kind of like what I'm going to be doing. What I'm going to be doing is these screws right here. these screws, there's two right here. You can see 2 right here, there's 2 right here, and there's 2 right here, and there's 2 right here. I want to undo these first before I start taking all these nuts off, because this is easier to get to now than being inside. And then there's these screws on the back side here, standoffs, so you have an air gap in there. I'm trying to get this centered here. Air gap in there, just to kind of keep everything, air flowing through there. So I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to take these screws out, and then I'll start taking these screws out here along the side where the ICs are sitting. So hopefully I can keep that in focus so you can kind of see what I'm doing here.